Hey everyone, I'm SniperKH and welcome to the final Grandmaster Nightfall guide of Season of Defiance. This week's Grandmaster Nightfall is Lake of Shadows, which originally was one of the easiest strikes in the game, but following some reworks with the release of Lightfall, it has not only become a longer strike but also slightly more difficult. However, with the use of today's guide, this strike should be easier. So without wasting any more time, let's dive into it. Let's open up with Loadouts. The two champion types that you will be facing in this GM will be Barrier and Unstoppable champs. But with today's loadouts, you should be good to counter these. For your primary, I'd highly recommend any of the following: Conditional Finality, Blinding Grenade Launchers, Arbalest, Izanagi's Vernon, or a Chokeclip Fusion Rifle will work well in this GM. For secondaries, run whatever secondary you'd like to run. I ran a Pulse Rifle for anti-barrier, but if you fancy something else, then go for it. For heavy weapons, your team will find a lot of use in rocket launchers, especially in the final boss fight. If your team does not feel comfortable running rocket launchers, then linears will work just fine in this GM. For subclasses, consider running the Void or Strand subclasses for Hunter, Stasis or Solar for Warlock, and Strand or Void for Titan. Finally, for mods, load up on various resistance mods to take less damage from the enemies in this strike. With that being said, let's dive into the guide. When opening up the strike, make your way off to the right side and clear out the adds here. From there, push forward towards the payload and kill the adds that are spawning right in here. Once all the adds are dead, jump onto the payload to progress in a bit until adds spawn in. When adds spawn in, have your team step off and deal with them. You'll have an anti-barrier champ off to the left side to where the church is, so kill it and then get a finisher. Once you've killed the barrier, turn around and kill the unstoppable that will be approaching you from the fields in front of the church. From there, progress the payload more while stepping off to deal with adds when they spawn. Once the payload has reached the barricade, have someone on your fire team approach the payload and activate it with their action keybind, which will explode the payload. Once it explodes, you can move on. Upon reaching the next area, clear out the two waves of adds that will be spawning in. Once both waves of adds are dead, have your team step onto the payload to progress it. As you did in the previous area, you'll want to step onto the payload and stay on until adds spawn in which you'll want to step off and kill them. I'd recommend using the various ledges on the left and right side to get better vantage points on the adds, but other than that, this part is pretty simple. Once you've reached the end, you'll encounter a mini boss. I'd recommend your team does one of two things. Number one is that you can fight the mini boss up close by using the bus for cover, and be wary of adds when they spawn. If you feel your team won't be able to deal with the adds when they spawn quickly, or find yourself dying too often to the boss, then you can do what my team did, which is backpedal far away from the boss and poke at the boss from afar, only getting close once you need to destroy the miniature blights to make the boss vulnerable. It's worth noting that sitting back will take longer, but my team found it to be the safer approach to this encounter than sitting up by the boss. Once the mini-boss dies, have one player run into the payload to blow it up, then move on. In the next area, you'll have some adds to deal with once the blight door is destroyed, so use the corridor as either your safe haven or as a way to bait adds in. Once the first group of adds are dead, slowly push in and clear out the adds as you push forward. If you have anyone on your team running Aeons, then be sure to get some finishers on the adds at the bottom of this area for ammo, otherwise proceed to the bridge. When you make it to the bridge, start off by killing the two unstoppable champs outside, then focus the Thresher down immediately. Once the Thresher dies, slowly push forward and kill adds. As you approach the broken part of the bridge, you'll have another Thresher to destroy, so take it down and then make your way into the left side room, as you'll want to use these rooms to safely deal with the bridge enemies and the enemies in this little cubby next to you. Start by taking out the enemies that you can, and once you have one player jump to the other cubby and immediately stun the unstoppable champ. From there, burst it down and kill it, in which you'll want to do a similar thing to the rest of the adds on the bridge. Once all adds are dead, move on. In the next area, you'll have some adds to kill before leaving the opening corridor, so kill them and then look to your left once you exit the corridor to deal with the next group of adds, which does include an unstoppable champ. Kill the adds and champ and slowly make your way up this area while killing all adds and champs. Once you make it into the next room, kill adds while also being aware of the launchers in the room, and then kill the two adds that are guarding the exit, one of which being an anti-barrier champion. Once all adds are dead, you can move on. The next area will feature a small mini fight with a Tormentor. Make sure you and your team enter the room at the same time, because once someone enters the room, the Tormentor will spawn and your allies will get the joining allies message, which could result in some pointless deaths. Once everyone is in the room, you'll want to kill the Tormentor. My team found using Strands to spin and Stasis' freeze to make an absolute joke out of this fight, as it completely nullifies the Tormentor's threat, so heavily use those two abilities to take the Tormentor down easily. Note that periodically throughout this fight, Acolyte eyes will spawn around the ceilings of the room, so kill the eyes fast and get back to killing the Tormentor. Once the Tormentor is dead, proceed to the next area, clearing out all of the ads as you do so. Once all ads are dead, you can move on. The next area is the boss fight. Start by clearing the room of all of the champs and ads, but do not shoot the crux in the middle just yet, as there is an incredibly useful cheese in this room to make this boss fight so much easier. Once the room is clear, make your way towards the back of the middle platform, and follow the path you see me taking on screen. This path will lead you to a cheese spot up in the roof, where the boss cannot easily hit you from. I'll let the gameplay play on for a moment so you can see where I am going. Once all of your fire team members make it to the top, shoot the crux to start the fight and bake the boss. If your team struggles to get to the cheese spot or simply can't make it up there, then you can still melt the boss from the ground, but you'll have to pay attention to which area of the arena is clear of the taken goo. Regardless of which strategy you do, it should lead you to an easy completion of the Lake of Shadows Grandmaster Nightfall. Well, that'll wrap up the final Grandmaster Nightfall guide of Season of Defiance. I hope you found the guide useful. If you did, drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more Destiny 2 content dropping weekly. Finally, follow my social media platforms linked below for more content from me and for updates for me. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.